Welcome back, friends, for another first grade virtual summer video lesson with Mrs. Maldonado. Well, we have a reading lesson today, and we are going to continue to read and learn about reptiles and amphibians. And this book is by Cynthia O'Brien. So here's our table of contents. Okay, in chapter 1, we learn what is a reptile, and that starts on page 2. On chapter 2, we learn what is an amphibian, starting on page 10. On chapter 3, we're going to learn about staying alive, starting on page 18. And on chapter 4, we are going to learn about a place to live, starting on page 26. We will have our Smart Words glossary on page 31. Okay, so let's get started. And we are going to read chapter 3. The heading is staying alive. Predators are hunters. They eat other animals like reptiles and amphibians. How do reptiles and amphibians stay safe? A coral snake has poison in its fangs. It is very colorful too. The colors are a message. They say, stay away. So this is a photograph of a coral snake. And boys and girls, this letter is in bold, so it stands out. And that word is predators. So what is a predator? Well, it tells us right here, predators are hunters. But let's look at our smart word bank here. And a predator, the definition for the word predator says an animal that hunts other animals to eat. So in this case, boys and girls, the coral snake has to protect itself from predators. Okay, so a way for the coral snake to protect itself, okay, it has colors. It's very colorful. And it says the colors are a message. That's what it tells us in the text. It says the message says, they say, stay away. So if you see a snake like this, boys and girls, remember to stay away. A green tree frog hides in leaves. Other animals cannot see it. Can you? It is using camouflage, a way of hiding or disguising oneself. So this is a green tree frog, and you can see it right here. This looks like a pitcher plant, boys and girls. A pitcher plant, it collects water. So that's probably why the frogs like to live there, because it has water. And you can see that it's camouflaging. So camouflaging means to blend into its environment. So the green tree frog is green just like the plant is green. So if you have to look very carefully to see if you can actually find the frog. Okay, and that is a green tree frog. A frilled lizard uses its body to stay safe. It spreads its skin. Then it opens its mouth wide. This makes it look big and scary. So this is a frilled lizard of Australia. So boys and girls, to make it look big and ferocious, it opens up its it says it opens, the lizard uses its body to stay safe. It spreads its skin and it opens its mouth wide. And this lizard is from Australia. So look how wide on the sides of its head it's spreading its skin. And also, boys and girls, it has its mouth wide open so it can look big and scary so other animals won't come and eat it. Okay? And this is called a frilled lizard of Australia. We learned about the tree frog that camouflages, and we learned about the coral snake, about its colors, and it also said that it had poison in its fangs. Okay, so remember the title is Staying Alive. So those are ways that the animals use to stay alive. Super hunters. Snap! A crocodile has its prey. A snake spots its lunch. Reptiles and amphibians are good hunters. Most eat insects, fish, and small animals like mice. Okay, so our vocabulary word or our smart word is prey. And prey is an animal that is food for another animal. And we see here a picture, a photograph of yellow eyelash viper waiting for prey. So looks like they're looking very carefully, waiting for its prey. So waiting for what animal they're going to eat for food. Okay, and this is a crocodile hunting. It has its mouth open a little bit and it's also waiting for its prey. So they have to be ready. If they want food, they have to be ready because other animals are going to try to get away. So if they want to eat, they have to be ready and attentive. They have to be focused to what they're doing. Can you smell with your tongue? Many reptiles do just that. They flick their tongues in the air. Then they smell any food nearby. Wow, look at this snake's tongue, boys and girls. It looks like it's a blue color. And isn't that pretty cool that snakes can use their tongue to smell? It says green rat snake smelling with its tongue. So this is a green rat snake. Okay, so it's probably looking for a rat because it's a green rat snake. So that probably gives us a clue as to what kind of prey the snakes hunt for. Frogs have long, sticky tongues. They snatch up insects in a flash. And this is a photograph of a big-eyed tree frog catching a fly. So here's a fly. Look at the frog's tongue. Have you ever seen a frog's tongue? You know, that frog's tongue reminds me of a chameleon's tongue. And it has to use a sticky tongue so it can catch the fly. Okay? It catches different insects. For this case, it's going to eat a fly. So we know that the frogs like to eat flies. Okay, so let's go to our next page. Weird and wonderful. A flying dragon? A lizard that changes color? Reptiles and amphibians do some amazing things. Many adapt to their homes. So we have our vocabulary word that is in bold, okay? And that word is adapt. And that word, boys and girls, means to change in order to live in a certain place. So right here it says many adapt to their homes. So that means that they have to change in order for them to live in their homes. So let's see what they have to do. And it says, boys and girls, it started off telling us about a flying dragon. Could you think what the flying dragon might look like? And when I thought of a lizard that changes color, I know a chameleon came to my mind. Did you think the same thing? Well, let's find out, see what these reptiles and amphibians do. So this is a photograph of a mossy leaf-tailed gecko changing color. So it probably is close to the moss, okay, and it is changing color to its home, remember? So it has to kind of camouflage. So it's changing color to whatever it is sitting on or laying on or standing on. The Draco lizard is also called a flying dragon. It lives in the rainforest. It has flaps of skin that look like wings. It can glide around the treetops. So here is a photograph of this Draco lizard or flying dragon. Look how wide it opens up, boys and girls. And it has to open up that wide because it flies. Okay? That's why it has its name as a flying dragon. It says that it flaps its skin to look like wings. Okay, so remember in the rainforest, there's really tall trees. So it has to move from tree to tree That's why it uses its skin flaps to use like wings to go from tree to tree. The chameleon changes its color. It does not do this to hide. It changes if it is hot or cold. It changes if there is sun. It also changes if it is scared. And this is a panther chameleon. This is one of the species that's most colorful, and we can see it looks so colorful, boys and girls. This is such a magnificent lizard, okay, because it's actually has different colors. And look at how the what color the tree or the vine that he's on. Is it the same color of his skin? It's not, right? So it says that it does not change colors to hide, but it changes colors if it's hot or cold. And it says it also changes if there's sun. So that's pretty a pretty neat thing about the chameleons. Okay, so now we have use your smart words. Okay, make a springy spiral snake. So it has a little craft here about a snake, but first we're going to learn about these snakes, boys and girls. This is a Moorish viper. Look at the pattern on this viper snake. This is a dwarf Mojave rattlesnake. Whoa, that sounds pretty dangerous. This is a emerald tree boa. Look at the colors on this boa snake, boys and girls. This is a coral pipe snake. Wow, look at that. Remember we learned about the coral snake and it had different colors? Well, this is a coral pipe snake. So now it has a little activity for you to do, for you to make a springy spiral snake. And the things that you will need is a paper plate. You will need some markers, some scissors, some paper, a hole punch, and a string. So if you don't have markers, you can use crayons. Okay, and a hole punch, you can probably use something to make a hole. And string, you can use any kinds of string. Okay, so these are the directions on how to make this springy spiral snake. You're going to decorate a paper plate with markers so it looks like the skin of a snake. Use the pictures on the left for inspiration. So you can use any of these patterns. Okay, so this is the paper plate. So you're going to start at the tip, you see, and you're going to go around and around and around and around until you make the head of the snake. Then you can make its eyes and its little nostrils there. Okay, so you're going to draw a spiral. You're going to cut along the spiral. Now you have a snake's body. So after you've drawn it, boys and girls, you're going to start cutting right here. So you're going to start cutting by its tail first. The same thing that you started to draw, that's the same way that you're going to start to cut all the way until you cut right here where the head is. So after you've done that, you can draw the two eyes and the head on the head. And then you're going to color a rectangle red. Whoops. Sorry, boys and girls, I'm going back. You're going to color the rectangle red for the tongue. You're going to cut it out and then cut a V from the end. So you're going to cut a V because that's how the snake's tongues look. Okay, you're going to just glue it on there or tape it on there. And then you're going to punch a hole at the end of the tail. So you're going to see at the tail, you can make a little hole. And then you're going to attach the string. And now you have a springy snake to hang. So this is what your snake is going to look like. Okay, now we have talk like a scientist. Use your smart words to explain what happens to your body when you leave an air-conditioned room and stand outside in the sun. So what happens, boys and girls, if you're in an air-conditioned room and you go outside in the sun, you start to what? You start to get hot and sometimes you start to sweat, right? So that's what happens. Okay, so now I have another activity for you. And your activity is, boys and girls, how to make an origami snake. Look at the snake, boys and girls. It looks kind of like a cobra, doesn't it? Well, it says it's very easy. So take a look at the video and try for yourself. Maybe you and your family can each make a snake. So and see how it's made, boys and girls. Okay, and if you can see, you can also make this looks like the snake's tongue or the cobra's tongue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the video. So go ahead and get a piece of paper and it'll show you here what you have to do with that paper. Okay, so you're going to have a square. Okay, boys and girls, so that is our video of how to make an origami snake. Now, if it went a little too fast, you can always pause the video or you can watch it again. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. See you next time.